Being valued is one of those things that we all try to be. We all intend to be valued in the relationships that we are in day to day, personal relationships, business relationships. We know the value of being valued in those relationships. We know the value of being not valued, or we know the experience of not being valued in those relationships. So I just wanted to take a bit of time today to share, some of the wisdom that I've had over the years on both sides of the coin, screwing things up and also actually being valued when and where I needed to be to, in essence, help that person fulfill their purpose and give whatever I could as a contribution to them when they actually needed it, and did it in a way where they actually received it. So, one of the key questions that led me to understanding having a deeper understanding of how I could be of value to others, and what I had that was actually valuable to others along the way was just this very simple question: well, where do I actually want to be valued? As I looked at that question, I realized that there's, funnily enough, places where I didn't want to be valued. I actually didn't care if I was valued in these areas or these areas. And that actually was quite freeing to me, because I realized that those places I didn't need to be. Doesn't mean that I would always not want to be valued in those areas, but at this particular moment, on this particular day, it didn't matter to me that if I was valued in that place or not. But it did matter to me if I was valued in this particular relationship. So just answering that question of, well, where do I actually want to be valued, helped me, and continues to this day, make sure that I'm focused on the right places, in the right relationships, bringing the things to those conversations that are actually needed in the moment, and not having this preconceived notion of what I should say, but just actually flowing in the conversation. I actually have realized over the years that we as people are not very good at conversations. We, most of the time, some of the time, we come into situations, we come into conversations with an agenda, and that's actually not a conversation. I realize that those are manipulated. I don't even know what to call them, honestly, but it's, one person has an agenda. They want you to do something. They want what they want, and it's not a conversation, because they just want what they want, and they care only what they care about. I mean, I've done that. I'm sure you have done that. And we've all had the experience of that relationship possibly being hurt, or, distrust coming into that relationship, or, that person at the very least feeling frustrated or getting angry at us because they don't want to do the thing you're asking of them, or, I don't want to do the thing that's being asked of me, and we don't really know how to communicate that, so we just sort of put up these blocks. So one of the interesting things that I've been thinking about recently is, what are the things that allow us to dig deeper into a conversation, and what are the things that actually cause people to be distanced within a conversation? So I think that's a fascinating conversation to have, and I plan to have that in a future video. But that's some of the things that are on my mind in terms of being valued. And it's interesting that when we step into a conversation, to have a conversation, what I've noticed for myself is immediately I'm present. And just being with that person, or with that group of people. And I remember in grade 9, I'm from Canada, but in grade 9, I remember just standing in front of my class to give this presentation, to share this thing for student council. And I just really remember understanding that all I needed to do was have a conversation with them. All I needed to do was take this information and talk to them and share it with them in a way that mattered to them. And also honor myself and the things that, I was excited about, or things that I thought were important in that dialogue back and forth. And as I've rolled that out throughout my career, definitely as an actor, that was every single day, just to have a conversation with the other person in a scene, or the other people in a scene, and to be able to realistically just have a conversation in the moment, saying other people's words, obviously, but really the just understanding the art and the practice of having a conversation just to communicate whatever that story needed to be communicated to tell that story and draw both myself and the other actor in, or the audience ultimately into that story. So fast forward and standing on a stage, sitting in front of a camera, it really is just having a conversation, meeting the other person exactly where they're at. And I've realized how hard that is. Over the years, I've practiced a lot, and even just sitting down to do this video today, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start into this thing. And had the counsel from my amazing son, Luke, just have a conversation, he said. So that's what I'm intending to do, is have a conversation about being valued, and within that, understand that being valued is just meeting a need in the life of the person sitting across from you. And in my particular case, that's for me to help you and everyone that I'm talking to be able to help them move towards fulfilling their purpose, to take one more step towards doing that throughout that conversation. And some days I hit it, some days I don't. But within that, grow and grow and grow in terms of understanding, when I did this, that didn't work, or when I said this, that really did work. And just that lifelong journey of being able to understand not only where I want to be valued, helping other people understand where they want to be valued, but also being valued in those places where we want to be, and bringing to the table the things that are of value to ultimately help meet a particular need in their life, and vice versa, to allow myself to be in that conversation, knowing that that person can help me take a step forward to get real needs met in my life. And as we engage in that conversation, we get more and more intimate with each other, and more able to lead one another within that conversation to a place where both of us are standing in a position where we're having tremendous impact with one another. And all of that realistically started for me with a question of, in terms of that, is, well, where do I actually want to be valued? So I share that question with you today. I try on a daily basis to ask myself that question in one form or another, but really the simple question is, where do I want to be valued today? So I share that with you as a tool to use every single day, and just ask yourself, well, where do I actually want to be valued today? Where do we want to be valued today, as a company, or as a community, as a family, as a couple even, within your marriage, and take a step out into the world and see what happens, and see how you're valued and how you're not valued, and what you did when you were valued and what you didn't do when you weren't valued. And same thing on the other side. What did someone do for you that you actually value that, whatever they contributed to you, and where are you distancing yourself from people and not wanting to go there, because more than likely they have an agenda and they want what they want, and you really want nothing to do with that. And then the next step is really learning how to say no, because when you're able to say no, then you're able to free up your time, free up yourself, free up your resources, be it as an individual, be it as a business or a community, a family, a country, to actually be where you want to be valued and where you know that you are valued. And spending more and more time in those places would be the goal. All right, well, thanks for your time today. And I intend to do many more videos like this, just having conversations about the things that I've learned over the years. And Luke will be, I'm sure, doing the same as we venture forth on this channel together. So yeah, thanks for your time. Oh, and I actually should ask, feel free to comment below and just share, let's just start a conversation. Let's start a conversation on what you've noticed, where you've been valued, and what worked, and where you haven't been valued, and just your insight on what didn't work in those cases. Let's just share with each other and learn from one another so that we can actually be the valued leaders that we have been created to be, that we've been called to be in all the areas where we have the opportunity to lead. All right, I'm looking forward to engaging with you in that conversation, both now in these comments and in coming videos. All right, we'll see you soon.